guys, I was mucking around with the old TIG torch the other day, and I thought to myself, these connectors look awfully similar to the connectors on the plasma cutter. So Pete thought to himself, do you reckon we can turn a TIG torch into a plasma cutter torch? Only one way to find out, guys. Let's have a play. Yeehaw! So if you're running a cheap TIG torch like this, guys, you'll notice that on the plasma cutter here, there's the same fittings. Like on our TIG torch here, we've got the on-off for the switch, and we've got here for your gas, your argon, or whatever you're going to use for your TIG welding. But inside the hose here, there's also a big power lead that runs and powers the tungsten on your torch. So my theory is, if we try and use this torch on a plasma cutter, will it work? So if you haven't watched any of my videos before, and you might be new to my channel, you might realise that I'm as cheap as. I never throw anything away. I've been doing plasma cutting for years and years and years, and I've got boxes of spares. Well, they're not spares, they're stuff that's broken, but I'm too miserable to throw it away in case I might need it again one day. So what I'll do is I'll trawl through the box of junk, and we'll see if we can find something to make this torch work. Yeah! Now obviously there's no way we're going to be able to get the consumables from the plasma torch onto the TIG torch. Because as you can see, they're totally different. But what I don't think is different is if we pull this to bits, guys, and have a look. Take the gas shield off. Take out the tungsten holder. You can see there's a thread right down here where the thread of the tungsten holder screws in, like so. So what we need to do, guys, is go through my box of junk, see if we can find some sort of fitting to go from this into here. Because I reckon the rest of the torch is almost identical. Different shape, of course, but I think we might be able to get it to work, guys. Yeehaw, Grandma! So I've spent 10 minutes looking, guys, and I've come up with this old bloody thing. It's an old torch that I've run over with my truck. But what we need is the actual end piece here, and then somehow we've got to attach it into this torch lead here. And I don't think that's going to be as much of a problem as what you think. Because I reckon if we pull this out of here, like so, if we have a look at the thread here, I reckon that might be almost the same as what's in the head of this torch here. And why I think that, guys, is when they're making these things, they want to keep as much the same as possible. So I reckon all the threads and everything else in these cheap plasma cutters and TIG welders and, you know, even the MIGs are all much of a muchness. So anyway, that's my theory, so let's see if it works. So this old head here that I've got is basically, like I said, the same as this. Now, what happens in this, if you don't know much about plasma cutters, is if we have a look here, our air comes in here from our compressor, and also what this is the main power lead runs into here. What I mean by power lead, guys, is this is our air lead here coming out of our plasma cutter, but it's also got a big wire running up the center of it here, and the wire, when you screw this into your torch, the wire connects to here, so basically this whole thing is live. So I'll screw this fitting from our broken torch into here. And what did I tell you? The threads are the same. So far so good. I mean, it might look a bit funny, but I reckon it'll work. So what I'll do is we'll put this to one side, and then we'll do a cut with the original torch. Then I'll take the consumables out of the original torch, we'll shove them into here, and we'll see if we can do exactly the same cut. See if it even works. Right, guys, this is just my standard cut 40 HF machine. It's not pilot arc, as you can see. If you don't know what pilot arc is, check my other videos. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos online about plasma cutters and welders and all sorts of other stuff. So we'll just turn them on there, and we'll turn them up to 40 amps. This machine is running a standard HF PT31 torch, which is my favourite torch really. It's cheap like me. Right, now let's cut this. Yeah! Like a hot knife through butter, guys. Rightio, let's grab the other torch and see if it actually works, eh? So if we turn this off, guys, remember when you're changing these torches and stuff, make sure you turn your machine off before you electrocute yourself, because it probably wouldn't be a good look, eh? Anyway, so we'll just take this lead off. We'll take the switch lead off. What I'll do, guys, is I'll take the consumables out of this torch here. Just the cheap PT31 consumables. we'll get rid of this torch. We'll leave the same earth lead in there, guys. Now we've got our hybrid version, guys. You reckon this is actually going to work? Anyway, give it a crack. Take off our shield here. We can take that one off. These are both the same, but we use the original ones. Swirl ring. Like I say, guys, if you're interested in plasma cutting and that, have a look at my channel. There's heaps and heaps and heaps of stuff for newbies and old bees and old gits like me and all sorts of people. Oh, we don't need that, Pete. Now remember I told you about these leads, guys? Well, in my world they're the same, so let's have a go. What's the worst that can happen, guys? Hey, I'll set myself on fire. I've done all sorts of crazy stuff in my workshop, guys. Now we'll plug in the switch lead. Kick it in the guts again, Pete. Hey, this looks pretty space age, doesn't it? The only thing is, guys, I got the trigger on the wrong side of it. It should be up here, but let's even see if the thing works, eh? Well, we've got air coming out of it. We haven't got any air leaks at the back here, guys. Make sure you tighten up the back, guys, because we'll get air leaking out of here, and we need all air we can to push forward through our plasma cutting torch nozzle. Let's have a go, see if it works. What do you reckon, guys? A TIG plasma cutter torch. As you can see, guys, the cuts are about the same. The one with the TIG torch has got a little bit more slag on it, if you notice here. The other one's just a little bit cleaner. But all in all, much of a muchness. So guys, that worked, no trouble whatsoever. So there you go. You learnt something new every day, don't you? Some more useless information from Pete. Anyway, guys, if you're the same as me and you don't like spending money and you like mucking around in your garage or your workshop and you love plasma cutting and welding, remember to subscribe to my channel, guys, and come see what the old git's doing next week. Anyway, guys, if you've got something to say, put it in the comments below and we'll see you next time, mate. Bye.
Pete'sTools.com